Hello, this is Mr. Molo going over the Review Inequalities Part 2. So question 1 says Madison must run a mile in no more than 9 minutes to qualify for a race. Which graph represents Madison's situation? So since it has to be no more than 9 minutes, that means she can't go over 9 minutes. So that means we're pretty much going to eliminate A and B there. And the key word is no more than. So she can run it in exactly 9 minutes, which would eliminate option C because option C has an empty circle. So we would go with letter D there. So 9 minutes or less, 9 minutes exactly or less, anything there. Question 2, students need at least 75 hours of volunteer service to meet their graduation requirements. Sarah has already completed 48 hours. Write and solve an inequality to determine how many more hours she needs to complete. So for here, it says that she already has 48 hours and she needs at least, which means more than or equal to 75. So she can do 76 hours, that would be okay. She can do 78 hours, whatever, but she can't do 74 hours. She needs at least 75 hours. Since this says a plus 48, I'm going to end up subtracting 48 from each side. So subtract 48 from this side as well. So I get x is greater than or equal to 27. So she at least needs 27 more hours. Remember, more than 27 hours. 28 hours would be okay. Should go over the 75 minimum requirement, but 26 is not enough. Here it says which graph represents the inequality below. So my first sign that I'm going to look at is right there. So since that is a less than sign, I know it's just going to have an empty circle. So I'm going to look at A and C there. Not B and D because they have the filled in circles. That's only true if it's an equal to, which it's not. So I want numbers that are less than 4. So x has to be less than 4. Numbers that are less than 4 are numbers like 3, 2, 1, and going this way to the left. Not numbers like 5, 6, 7. That would not be true. 5 is not less than 4. So we're going to look at option C for that one. This one, a student represented the inequality on the graph below. X is greater than or equal to 7. There's the graph there. We need to find the student's error. And kind of like what I was talking about last time, that is a greater than or equal to sign. So that circle should be filled in or shaded. So option B. All right, for the next 3, we'll go over to the whiteboard. So I get 5a minus 9 is less than 2, and then in parentheses, a minus 6. So our first step here would be to distribute. Remember, when we distribute, the 2 is going to get distributed to both. So 2 times a is 2a, 2 times 6 is 12. So since it was a negative 6, 2 times negative 6, negative 12. Okay, first thing I'm going to do when I want to combine my like terms here on an inequality is make sure that I have a positive variable. So you could subtract 5a from both sides. I really don't like doing that because I'm going to get a negative a. And then we have to flip our sign at the end. So I'm going to subtract 2a from each side to make sure that my a ends up being positive. So now I have 3a minus 9 is greater than or is less than negative 12. And now I have a minus 9, so I would need to add 9 to both sides. So I have 3a is less than negative 12 plus 9 is negative 3. And then our last step, since it's 3 times a, I'll write that over here because I'm running out of room. It's 3 times a, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So a is less than negative 1. So remember the opposite operations that we talked about. It was a plus 2a, so I subtracted 2a. It was a minus 9, so I added 9. It was a 3 times a, so then I divided by 3. Same thing here. First thing I need to do is distribute. And again, it gets distributed to both. So 9 times w is 9w, 9 times 2 is 18. Same thing, I want to have a positive w here, so I'm going to end up subtracting 9w from each side. Subtract 9w, 12 minus 9 is 3. So 3w is greater than or equal to 18. Again, it's 3 times, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Opposite operations. 3 divided by 3 cancels, so we're just left with w. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so w is greater than or equal to 6. Then the last one here, again, we have another distributing here, so 4 times n is 4n. 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4. And on the other side, it's greater than 4n plus 2. This is another reason why you always want to get your variables together first, because on a problem like this, It's a plus 4n, so I'm going to subtract 4n. I see that my variables end up canceling out. 4n minus 4n is 0. So I'm left with a statement like this. Negative 4 is greater than 2. That ends up being a false statement. Negative 4 is not greater than 2. So when we say that is a false statement, it is a no solution. There is no number that you can put in for n at the start of this problem to make that solution true. So that would be a false no solution problem.